Oh, I've never seen that before. Does it help?
Yeah. It actually, the last couple days, I haven't taken any painkillers because I have basically inserted this thing into my back through force.
That's good. You have a natural way of
Yeah.
healing pain.
The city of New York, Boricua from the Bronx.
What's up, dude?
What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, totally. My name's Mike Glazer. I'm a comedian. My first album just came out. It's called Life Rules. You can check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere that you listen to and watch comedy. And it's called Life Rules because I think life rules, but also I got a lot of rules for life to make sure I can live the best life possible.
And it's very funny, man.
Thanks, man.
I was watching it, and it's really, really funny. I feel like with Netflix and YouTube and all these platforms, now you have access to so many more comedians than you would have historically.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I feel fortunate that it's gotten 15,000 views in 15 days. Like, I'm a numbers guy. I kind of keep track of that. And I do get that external validation where I'm like, ooh, people are messing with it. That feels good. I truly think the big difference now than maybe comedians before, a couple generations before me, if you had a late night show or a Johnny Carson or TV, like, if everyone saw you on Carson, your career took off. I think now community support is more important than ever. So like you having me on your podcast to like get to know each other, talk about mental health and talk about my special, that's the new, it's not a gatekeeper. It's that as a community, we have more power than maybe we did ever before. And we can lift each other up and like get the word out for each other so that more people find us. And I think that's a really positive way to like, you know, it's a positive opportunity that we all have in this current era.
yeah, for sure. Well, the podcast, the YouTubes, the even Netflixes, and actually every damn platform has it, right?
Yeah, and not, I should qualify, not to say like Jimmy Fallon, let me on. I'd love to chop it up with you and shoot some oversized pool balls into a pocket
Yeah,
or
you
whatever
know
we
what?
do together, you
And
know?
I will echo that, dude. Based on the special I saw and your personality that I'm observing, you guys would have a blast. So Fallon, dude, don't be a dick and bring this cat on. It'll be so worth it. It'll be funny.
Yeah.
I, bro, man, I feel like I I mean, so I just discovered you from the email, right? When these folks reached out, at least I think I did, because I watch a lot of comedy. So there's a chance I could have seen something and you don't know who the comedian is. It doesn't say the name. You're just watching clips and stuff because you feel familiar. You know what I mean? Like you feel familiar to me for some reason. But I feel like based on what I saw, I look forward to you coming to Radio City and going catching it there, bro.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
That
Put
I'm
it in the
being
air.
yeah. Well, I saw that you had dates. I was looking through and I was like, ah, dude's coming. He's staying in the West Coast. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll catch him when he comes to Radio City, man. Because I feel like that's just the natural trajectory. Because it was funny, bro. Like it was actually really good. Like I enjoyed it. Like I was laughing, and a lot of times like ooh, like the Chipotle bit. I'm like ooh, it's entertaining, man. I'm gonna watch it again.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to put like the West Coast tour that starts in April. I'm excited, but East Coast would love to come to New Jersey, would love to come to New York. Like, there's so many places. And also, I gotta like, yeah, the Chicken Caesar rap scene in New York City is out of control. There are no good Chicken Caesar wraps here in Los Angeles. And my entire Instagram Explore page is like New York food. And so I got to get over there and do some shows and eat my way through the city with you.
Actually, that's how my site NYC Talking started. Yelp pissed me off, right? Because they kept deleting my reviews because I was too aggressive or whatever. So they kept deleting my reviews. So I created my own website because of that.
Nice.
Because
There you
Yelp
go,
kept,
right? It's
yeah.
the same thing. Like if I want to put a special out, why wait? Self-produce a special. If you keep getting hammered down by Yelp because your hot takes on the chicken shawarma and people need to know, nobody can stop us.
Recently, I've been on this mental health kick, talking about mental health and stuff. Are you comfortable sharing about like your mental health and stuff and what you're kind of going through?
Yeah, I mean, we all have boundaries. So if I'm not, I'll say no. But of course, yeah, man. That's why I'm here. I'm here to share my stories, hear yours, and get to know each other. So let's do it.
I think I know what bipolar is, right?
Uh-huh.
I think I do. I kind of in my brain, I'm thinking you're sad, you're very happy. Can you explain that?
Sure. I think all I can talk to is my experience because there's so many different shades of everything. Like my brother, he works in the special education district in St. Louis, Missouri. And so I'll talk with him about kids he works with who has autism and how there's like such a spectrum of what autism looks like. And so for me to talk about bipolar disorder, I only just want to keep it to my experience so that I'm not speaking for anyone else. But for me, those lows are so low, like staying in bed for a week. I have a great therapist named Peter Tuesdays at noon. And if I can, I double up on therapy with him because I'm like, I need to get out of bed. I can't function. I'm barely able to do anything. And but those are followed by these incredible peaks of highness where I am just like, I am a god. I am firing on all cylinders. No one can touch me. Everything I do is perfect, and all of the pieces are interlocking together in a way that is a creation of my own magnetism, and that's crazy. I think that's personally for me crazy. I don't think I'm any of those things. I'm a human man who has these deep lows and these high highs, and I'm genuinely searching for an easy, steady in between that allows me to be a person. And there have been times like in Chicago, to tell some stories, I'm walking around my apartment in Chicago, chain smoking cigarettes, talking to myself about how nobody gets me and I'm misunderstood and I'm working harder than everybody. And then I end up walking all the way to my friend's house at 3 a.m, ringing his buzzer and asking him if he wants to write a screenplay with me. And he's like, dog, it is 3 a.m. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sorry if I want success, I'm sorry if you don't want it as bad as me. And that is mad inappropriate. But in that moment, I'm just like, I've got to embrace the muse and I've got to get out here and do what I can to be successful. And that's just nothing is going to come of that except for damaging relationships, seeming like a crazy person to others possibly, and looking back on it and being like, God damn, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing standing in the Taco Bell drive-through with cars all around you honking, and you're standing in the Taco Bell drive-through trying to order from people, and they're like, yo, you need to go home. And I'm like, I just want my tacos. This is injustice, what's going on, man? So, those high highs and lows, they come on because of stress. They come on because I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not exercising. I'm not drinking water. I'm not journaling. I'm not going to therapy. Having discipline, having the ability to talk to people who have my best mental health in mind, and taking a couple medications I've now found that balance. And those high highs and low lows, they still happen because we're human beings, but they're manageable and they're a part of my emotions instead of what can take over my life.
Wow, that's intense, man.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the initial description of the high, I was thinking, well, that's not a bad thing. If you always stay on that high mode, you can really get a lot of stuff done. But then as you elaborated on it, going to the homie's house at 3 a.m, Taco Bell, going to the drive-throughs and stuff. And then I was like, okay, there I see where it could not be good,
Yeah. It's bad. And there's been a lot of, owning up to the relationships and the friendships and things that I'm I have now and how good those things are. It's because of working on my mental health and taking care of myself, for sure.
Okay, so that is what bipolar is. Are there different types of by them adding manic in the front of it, is it saying that it's more of a high time than a low time, or is it just that's what it's called?
I've read a couple things and I'm not exactly clear. I would feel comfortable if there was a therapist or somebody here to kind of talk about those kind of medical things. But,
okay.
what I can share is in my family, there's a big history of what's been labeled as manic depression. And I think adding the word bipolar into that, to me, kind of indicates that mania and that severe depression, that mania and that severe depression, and manic depression is maybe a description of bipolarness. And then, I have someone in my family who is a schizophrenic, and I think the unfortunate thing is that my family doesn't really talk about these things. So you giving me the opportunity to talk about myself means that I had to learn these things by watching the other people in my family, but not having them tell me about my history, tell me about the people in my family who have struggled with their own personal things. Like, so I've had to really kind of figure it out on my own and do my own homework to kind of see where I'm coming from and how to handle it. So it's been intense, and I think it's really important to be able to talk about these things openly so that we can not make some kind of irreparable mistakes that could, be like, oh, had I known that this is my family history, I could have gotten a handle on this earlier.
Especially as men, right? We're not
Yeah,
supposed
man.
to,
Straight
you
up.
know, we're not supposed to talk about this. Yo, listen, man, you show your wife emotion, you share your deep thoughts with her, and you do, she gonna leave you. She's gonna find someone else because she's gonna think you a bitch.
Wow.
And this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not being able to express.
Can I ask, is that something that like you with your wife or in your own life, you've had to like work on being able to be more open so that you can be truly who you are today? Like, was that a struggle for you?
Well, I grew up in the South Bronx, right? So
Word.
I'm from the street, right? For all intents and purposes, I grew up out there in the 80s and 90s in the hood. So survival was always a thing, and survival was dependent on toughness and hardness. So that's where I come from. With my wife, I always was very open with her, I think I had some understanding that it was okay. I wanted to ask, like with the weed and everything, right? Do you take that because of the mental health? Is that a part of your coping mechanism?
Yeah, but I didn't know that until I knew that. You know what I mean? I started selling weed, smoking weed. I was like, I'd be working at a pizza place in St. Louis. I'm not going to say their name because I really love that pizza place, so I'm not about to put them on blast for my own choices, but cash register in the front, selling weed out the back, smoke behind the dumpster, make new friends. It was a good life. It was a good childhood, make a little extra cash in my pocket, and luckily never really get in trouble for it, and get out of it early enough before I was like moving real weight. So what I didn't know is I was doing all of that because I wanted to be liked. I didn't know how to make friends. Unless I'm being funny or I'm high, so I don't feel like myself, I'm an anxious motherfucker all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? If you would have seen my nails back then, I'm chomping away because I just like don't know how to feel feelings. And so weed absolutely helped me be in the pocket, be a better version of myself, relax around people and chop it up and have a great time. But then, as I'm just going to be real, I think there's like a bunch of jokes about it. Like, weed isn't the same as it used to be. It's strong as fuck now. And yo, it is strong as fuck now. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I love a dab. I love 20 milligram edibles. I love to just like sit on my couch, watch the new season of Top Chef, and just get fucking high. But also, it's a tool, right? Like, it's a tool. Like, I know some homies, they're all day smokers, whether it's because they're war veterans and they use it for PTSD, or whether they are, in chronic pain and they just smoke all day, every day. And that's great for them. And I think the beauty of weed is if you like it and it works for you, there really is no judgment on how you use it, how often you use it, why you use it. And we all can like ebb and flow with that. So like, yeah, there are some time I'm about to go on tour and I'm going to be smoking every single night. Like, as a part of the show, I'm going to be high and it's going to be fun and I can't wait. But also right now, I'm taking a tolerance break so that when I am on stage, I can be high and I'm up there having a great time performing with these shows. So it's like, you don't have to do all the same things all the time. That's habit. And I'm more interested in using things as tools to make my life better. So I've gone through the gamut of, how I've used weed and why I've used weed. And I've loved it the entire time. It's been really, really helpful to me in a million ways.
And you're able to remember everything while you're
Hell
super
yeah.
high?
Hell yeah.
'Cause
It
it's a
makes
lot
my
of
brain
material,
wrinkles
right?
deeper, dude. I get deeper brain wrinkles, guaranteed.
I can't find the old style weed that just made me laugh and just
Those-
have fun, you know?
That's the kind of shit that's like all seeds and stems with a little bit of weed in it.
You know, like the old weed was good, man. This new weed is, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's rough, man. I can't handle it. I don't have the tolerance, you know.
Man, when I come out to New York, we'll go to like Scars or something and just take like a little hit and then we'll have a great time together.
we'll talk to turtles.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome, dude. I definitely look forward to you coming to New York, man, because I want to see it live. It's something different about seeing comedians live.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Especially when like, I don't know, man, for my comedy, a lot, especially in the last like 10 years, I've been craving like connection, positivity, authenticity. I'm kind of over the whole like glossy bullying bullshit. And I think weed helps me just like be a kind, nice person. So when I get on stage, like if I'm doing crowd work with you, I'm like, what do you do? I'm not there to be like, you dumb
Oh,
motherfucker. Like,
right.
fuck, how dare you be an architect or like whatever it is. Like, I'd rather like,
How
get
dare
to
you have
know
a
you.
success? Look at my
Wait,
wife.
who's crawling behind? Who's crawling behind here right
Yeah,
now? What's
get
going
up,
on?
babe. Bring show 'em Pepper. Show 'em Pepper. Look, that's
This is
hilarious,
crazy.
dude.
I know.
That's my dog.
Hi.
That's my dog and wifey.
Hi.
Trying
Nice to meet you. I'm
crawl.
Mike.
Oh, here, say hi, babe.
Oh,
Yeah, say hi. You can't,
Yeah.
Okay.
so you can hear him.
oh.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I'm Christine.
Hey, Christine.
Nice
Um,
meeting you.
You too. Were you crawling on the floor so that we didn't see you and now we're hanging
Yes.
out?
Yes, I failed.
Oh, let's all hang out. This is what it's about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
What's your dog's name?
That's Peppa. Okay, well, she wants to go out now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, have a good one. I hope you come to New York.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great to meet you both in person and go
Yeah.
walk your dog Peppa.
Yeah, it's cute. Hi.
Hi.
So funny. Dude, she straight up tried to crawl.
It's so thoughtful, right? It's like, oh man, I don't want to like, it's so great. That's so
That freaking hilarious, bro. I'm totally keeping that. In fact, I might open with that. You know, when I cut this up, I might open with her. I was gonna open with when Julia caught me rubbing the ball on my back because I was like drilling this thing in, freaking pain in my neck.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna open with that. That was too funny.
Ah.
And the fact that you caught it and called it, a lot of
Yeah.
people would just act like they don't see it. That was great. Yeah, that's too
Your
funny.
dog's cute too, man. Y'all are a cute fam.
Thank you. She's a sweetheart, dude. Like both of them are sweethearts. My wife is a sweetheart and my dog is a sweetheart, man. Well, you saw her. She's tiny. So you have a new special on YouTube, which is freaking hilarious. But you're also doing like a live podcast as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, man. I don't know when I came up with the concept of life rules. Maybe I'm not even the first person. I'm sure no ideas are new, but to me, life rules is like, it's cool because I get to share my story through my comedy special, but then I want to have people come on my podcast, Life Rules, and tell me about why their life is amazing and what their rules for life are. And then that'll help me make myself a better person too. So we can all share these stories and all share like what life rules means to us. And shit, dude, I even got a tattoo of it the other day. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. I see it.
So
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm branded with it at this point. And so I just started talking to friends. Like, to me, I'm really excited that I get to put an album out about my life rules and why life rocks, but also I can learn from other people about like what their thoughts are on life and sit down with others who can help me grow and help listeners grow. So to me, life rules is like, it's more than just a special. It's more than just a brand. It's like a beautiful concept and theme for how to live. And so if I can sit down with a best friend like Joel Hadley or the creator of Is It Cake like Tina Tazi, athletes, hip hop artists and listen to them and how they maneuver through life, the moves they make and why life rocks and how they got there, I'm going to learn a lot. The listeners are going to learn a lot. Like, come on now, let's make the world a better, like, I don't know. I got a tattoo of the word life rules right there. So I'm kind of like in it now. There's no turning back. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's lean in.
Stamped.
Stamped. Exactly. So to me, it's just like it's a cool mantra for life. And just like reminding myself, hey, don't do that. That ain't it. Don't do that. But also, oh my gosh, let's celebrate this win and not be too hard on ourselves for doing something cool. You know, it all fits into life, and I'm here to make the most of it. So check it out.
Yeah, as we all should, right? We should all try to make the best of it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's
'Cause
not
it's hard,
promised.
right, dude? Like life's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. It's weird,
Yeah, it's
you
it's
know?
it's dude, I was up till 5 a.m. on this thing called Seven Cups. Seven Cups is like a mental health support chat site, and I was on there talking to people, and like three of them were saying that they didn't want to be here anymore, you know. And we're just there just talking to each other and trying to support each other and help each other out. And a lot more people than let know are struggling with things, like I mean, look at Robin Williams, man.
Yeah.
Nobody would have ever thought that, right? He just looked funny all the time, happy all the time, and he wasn't, you know. Um, and there's many other people that one moment they're here smiling, and I just learned this new term. It basically means that if all of a sudden you're super happy and you're talking about all these great things you're gonna do, you're gonna make dinner for the family, and you've been laid out depressed for months and months, a surge. That's the term. The term is called surge. So if all of a sudden you're the complete opposite and you're super happy and you're like, yeah, we're gonna have a great life, usually that means they're gonna end themselves.
Whoa.
Yeah, because in their mind, they have accepted that they're about to leave. So now they're happy. And I had never heard that term. It makes the hair on my arm stand up, man. Like I never heard that term before. And somehow I went into it on TikTok and I started scrolling through and I was like, what is a surge? I don't understand what they're saying. So they're showing people being happy, like, hey, I'm making you a delicious dinner, and the husband's like, oh, that's wonderful. And the person's super happy. And then at the end, they show the guy saying, I wish I knew she was going through a surge
Oh, fuck.
and she's no longer here, So I'm just like, hold up. I kind of deducted what it meant, but I wanted to look it up, and turns out that it's a depressed, suicidal person momentarily showing a glimmer of light, and all of a sudden they're super excited. And what it means is that in their mind, they've accepted they're at peace now because they know when they're gonna do it, what they're gonna do, and they can just be happy. And
Yeah.
wow, that is trippy because you want people to be happy. So all of a sudden they're
Yeah.
happy. And you're like, awesome, they're coming out of it. But you don't know that the next day they'll be gone. Like, this is like, man, it is mental health is a trip. And yes, to answer your question with this long-winded, darkening statement of mine, yeah, life is hard.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, man. Stars burn the brightest before they burn out, right? And
Oh,
that's just the universe. That's wild. I've never heard of that either. It's
yeah.
kind of a good thing to learn. Like I'm glad to be talking with you about this because if I could identify in a homie, this feels like that thing. It's important to know what that is. So I appreciate you sharing that because, that's a good
For
thing to
sure.
know.
You stay with them, watch them, don't leave them alone, get them help. Because if it's uncharacteristic of them, all of a sudden to be, they want to make you a homemade lasagna, and they've never made a lasagna before, and they're
Yeah.
like, we're gonna have the best day ever. Maybe it's because they're thinking this is my last day. So
So
we
what
gotta
you're saying is be suspicious of lasagna. We gotta
yo,
be suspicious of lasagna.
if the homies come out with the lasagna,
Uh-huh.
something ain't right, man. And if it's gluten free and all that shit, then definitely call 911, bro, because
You
it's
got
about to get real. There's so much to know. It's so much to know that we don't know. And I mean, I've been, like I said, I was up till 5 a.m. on Seven Cups. You might check it out too. It's actually pretty cool. They have people there that are trained to chat and help people. Because check it out, man. I called the suicide hotline, right? For veterans, because I'm a veteran. It's a
Oh,
grumpy
oh,
old vet, right?
yes.
Grumpy old vet. So I
Oh,
called them up. Yo, they were mean.
really?
They were mean. Now I didn't call them up because I was suicidal. I called them up. I just wanted to talk. I was losing my shit. And now I'm like, you know, this is a suicide hotline.
Mm-hmm.
And you're actually making me angry. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Like,
did you call the "We want you to commit suicide" hotline? Did you dial the wrong number?
what the fuck? I might have missed the zero. You know what I mean? I might have
Yeah.
pressed the wrong number. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna go now because you're
Mm-hmm.
really starting to piss me off. And if I were someone who was actually suicidal, like this is unacceptable. And I hung up on her and stuff, and I tweeted about it. I wrote a blog post about it. I think I reached out to them. Nobody ever said anything. Nobody responded. That's not cool, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That is really not cool, you know.
Wow. I'm glad you're here, man. That's a real that could have gone a million different directions. I'm glad you're here because that's
Okay,
wild.
man. Yeah,
I gotta. Do
yes,
you mind
sir.
if I ask you a question? I didn't know that you were a veteran.
I'm sure.
Okay, so I did one of the first things I did here in LA, thanks to cannabis, was I did a series called First High, where I would smoke weed with someone who'd never smoked weed before. One of them had cerebral palsy. One of them is a veteran who had some pretty serious PTSD. There was a married couple for 70 years who were looking for something new to do together, and neither of them had ever gotten high before. And it was beautiful. And the one with the war veteran, we smoked together. And at the end of the episode, it's on YouTube. You can check it out. First
Yeah, for
High.
sure. First
He
time.
goes, he smokes and he looks at me, he goes, "Man, had I known this was available to me and it wasn't
Mm,
terrible and illegal because of propaganda, like whatever it was, it's like, I don't know that I'd be in the place that I've been in for as long as I've been in it. This is like such a good
wow.
thing to know." Like, have you ever had that experience where you were like going through PTSD or anything like that, and then you had to find a way out of it?
So I was, I guess I'll say, fortunate that I never went to combat camp. So in boot camp, I told them I'm gonna kill myself now,
Mhm.
and they sent me to like the mental health platoon, right? The training area for that area. And over there, we were still being exposed to the same stresses, screaming at you, crawling on the floor, cleaning toilets with toothbrushes. And I was like, I thought I was going home. You know what I mean? Like, I want
Yeah.
to get out of this because I'm losing my shit. And they're like, nah, you might be here up to 2 months. And I'm like, you know what? Send me back. I might as well benefit from it,
Yeah.
and finish going through training. So I had a hard time with that because before I went in, I mean, to give you perspective, when I was a kid, once I was used as a shield in a shootout, right? So these are the kind of things I was exposed to growing up. This guy came, he grabbed me, and he started shooting at these other dudes. They pulled out their guns, and guess who's on the receiving end of that firearm? And they
Uh-huh.
they saw me, they saw this stupid kid being held, and they just drove off. They didn't fire. Thank God they didn't fire. I probably wouldn't be here. So this is just a little snippet of stuff that happened to me growing up. Then before I went to boot, me and my wife at the time had lost a baby. And they
Dude.
showed me the fetus. These freaking people came and said, "Hey, you want to see it?" And I was like, "Bro, why would you do
Yeah.
that? Like, what
Yeah.
would you do that?" And then like the next week I was in boot camp, you know.
That's so
So
much.
I was in a not good place. And you know, to answer your question, like all that stuff is coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff has been coming out. Like I went in to get an MRI, and the MRI just broke me. I freaked out in the MRI, and I hate to use the term broke me because we're not broken, right? And I don't think of mental health and stuff like that as people being broken. I just say it because it sounds funny to me, but I don't believe that, and I don't think that. Just to be clear for folks out there, we're not broken, but the MRI did something to me where everything flooded out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just freaked out. So I'm doing therapy too. And my
Nice.
therapist is like, this was gonna happen sooner or later, Angel. You don't get used as a shield in a shootout and not be affected. And I'm like, well, I'm from the Bronx, bro. This is day to day. This is our day to day. And she's like, yeah, no, people don't go through that. My pops was a heroin addict for a long time. So he did a lot of stuff that I saw and, had some issues with my mom. All that shit stays with you, but I'm tough. I don't fuck mental health. Like admittedly, when I was a kid, my mom sent me to therapy because she caught me with a knife in my room going like this, and that guy helped me a lot.
That's
When I was a
great.
kid, she saw me in there and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, and thank God
Making
for
some
that too.
lasagna. Don't worry about it.
You like that gluten-free lasagna, Mom? We're about to have a delicious dinner, special sauce. But
Wow, man. You make me think of a couple things. So my friend, I'll shout her out. Her name's Alexis. She's deep and she's done a lot of work that it feels like both of us are currently doing. But she was telling me about this book called The Body Keeps the Score. And essentially, it's like if you don't process that shootout, or in my case, if you don't process like my own issues, like they just stay in your body in different places. And that shit just builds up like Tetris blocks. You're playing a level that is so fast that you can't get the lines cleared at the bottom of the Tetris in time. And those blocks just go, 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 go until they explode out of you in different ways, whether it's in an MRI machine or like in my case, it's through taking so many mushrooms and just like trying to escape my problems instead of address them. Like whatever it is, those Tetris blocks build up and they store in your body. When I started going to therapy twice a week and doing some other things recently, I used to have this pain in my neck that would shoot down from the back of my ear all the way down my shoulder. All of a sudden, I started processing shit. I started like working my way through my childhood. That neck pain is like I don't know if I was imagining it or like what it is, but it's
not
not here
physical.
anymore. It's
Physical manifestation, yeah, for sure.
it's crazy, dude. It's crazy how that stuff can just like show up and then disappear because you're handling your shit.
Right. Well, like you said, you store it in different places. Maybe for you, some of it was stored in that general, that's how your body copes. As a matter of fact, like my physical therapist tells me when your anxiety acts up, your pain's probably going to get worse because
Mm.
your muscles tense up. I mean, there's a physical reaction. I'm just gonna read these things, right? I wrote these things just because we're running out of time and I don't want to hold you up. Gold medal in roller hockey, handshake. Handshake. When you shake someone's hand in the audience, you said he gave you a firm handshake. I shaked a woman's hand recently at a event that I was doing, and she crushed my hand. High show.
Yeah,
There
the
was
tour
another
we're
one.
about to go on is the Gateway Show, and the Gateway Show is the first half we do a sober set, the second half we do a high set, and that's all April. That's that tour. So I'll be stoned for my second
That's not
half
it.
of the
It's
show.
you were telling
Night out.
stories. You were telling stories about a show, and they had you do odd things. The one where you met Snoop.
Oh, Hi Guys, the BuzzFeed series Hi Guys. Yeah, I would just show up stoned out of my mind and hang out with a sloth and smoke with
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg.
that's what I was like. I wrote that, and I didn't write enough detail. I just wrote high show. I should have written sloth.
You could write high show and then just put a dash and say Mike Glazer's entire life. Like you could just like keep it as broad as that.
I didn't read that, so you addressed everything. I thought it'd be funny to just go down the things I had jotted down as I was like reading, and and of course the dog hunt is the final thing. You can adopt a dog. Are you trying to adopt or are you trying to buy?
So here's the conclusion I've come to since that special. I feel very fortunate to go on the road and tour. I don't know that I have the capacity to get a dog, make it a real friend, and then leave it for a month. I don't think that's fair to any animal. And I
Agreed.
can't bring it with me because we're on tour. But what I can do in May, when I get back from tour, is I can get a cat because a cat is a little less responsibility, a little more independent, and I can start volunteering at animal shelters in my spare time so that I can still get that like like I love old animals, man. I love an old cat. I love an old dog, like giving them a high quality of life at the end of their life so they can like
Fucking A,
go out
man.
on top. Dude, it is the best. And so if I can start volunteering and if I can maybe like get an older cat to take care of and have in my home, I really look forward to that time because I think that's a really important thing. Kind of like the older generations now. My grandma's 93 and I try and talk to her as much as I can. I feel like old people get forgotten. They just kind of like get put on these icebergs and pushed into the Arctic Ocean to just like float around until they're gone. Like it's important, man. You got to take care of older animals. Just because there's puppies out there, old ones need love too, you know?
That's how I look at it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since I guess you're kind of getting towards the end of your time, tell us, promote anything you want to promote in terms of your social media, events you're doing. Even tell me about old stuff that we could find and see. Because after seeing the special, like I want to check out all your stuff. It was funny, man. I love comedy, man, and I love talking to comedians because y'all are just as fucked up as all of us. We're all pretty fucked up, and comedians find a way to let it out.
Cool.
I
Will do. I'll
definitely-
use what you just said as a jump off point because in my special Life Rules, I got a big joke about dancing that you can check out. That I would say my last joke in the special, which is about validation. It's pretty dark, but it comes from a real place. So check those things out. Life Rules is on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes. If you want to buy it, you can order it through my record label that I did this with. Check out First High if you want to see that war veteran piece. I think First High, I think it's still on YouTube. First High Mike Glazer. All my tour dates are on my Instagram or social media, which is all Glazer boo hoo hoo. So I'm so glad I'm on this with you because boo hoo hoo, you can figure it out. You know what it is. So check out Glazer boo hoo hoo. And then I just got to announce I'm going to be a part of the Netflix is a Joke Festival here in Los Angeles in May. That it's going to be called Netflix is a Joke Presents Mike Glazer, which is a huge honor, and I'd love to sell that show out. So if you happen to be in Los Angeles or know somebody in Los Angeles, May 9th, get a ticket, come out. It's going to be all new material because I already did the special, so it's time to write again and do a new one at the end of this year. So that's everything I got going on. Don't make that secret lasagna. Drink water. Get a good night's rest. Go on long walks. Get sunshine. And it'll all be good.
Have you gotten any issues from the whole cancel culture stuff and all that?
The last joke in my special is about my family, and it's about how I perceived my family growing up and the work I've done through therapy and things like that to kind of unpack all of those feelings I've had since childhood. And my intention would never be to hurt my family's feelings or to put them on blast in a public way. But I also feel like I have to speak my truth. And if my truth comes out in the form of comedy and that's my outlet and that's my like God-given talents and the things that I do for a career, then I've got to at least be honest with myself. And I got to put myself out there to do things the way I need to do them for my own life. And so my intention would never be to hurt somebody, but my intention is to be honest and be hilarious while I'm doing it. So, it is what it is. So whatever you do with this, I've had a great time chatting with you and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to let you go so you can do your things and stuff. But yo, when you come to New York, please find me, man, because I totally would love to chill. I definitely would like to see your show live, So when you come in, yeah, man, it'll be awesome, man.
That sounds great, man. Let's get a slice, and for me, an orange soda, an ice cold glass bottle of orange soda with a slice of pizza. That's a last meal, dude.
No lasagna, right?
Exactly, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's great to get to know you.
Yeah, likewise, man. Be well. Bye,
All right.
Julia. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Stay safe, everybody.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Peace.
You are listening to the NYC Talking podcast. www.nyctalking.com. Please like NYC Talking on Facebook. Please follow Angel R Talk on Twitter and Instagram. We are NYC Talking, the realest lifestyle blog ever. Thanks for listening.